well in time, as the chat room tends to have a lot of communication. So please let's post, let's may I also advise that we minimize the posting in the chat room during the meeting to ensure maximum attention to the AGM meeting. So at this point, I call upon a member to propose the adoption. 940. Okay. Uh, very much the agenda was the CPA matrix, and I have confirmed that the agenda is adopted as circulated. So can I call someone to lead us in a word of prayer? Thank you. Well, yes, grateful for this meeting. We are grateful for the opportunity given us to serve. And we discuss what we pray that shall be to community. Amen. Thank you very much, CPA Pastor Secretary. So I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to this 31st annual general meeting and to thank all of you for your continued support to the Institute. But I would like to start by recognizing the council members that are present here. And I will start by CPA Timothy Ediomu, CPA Ronald Mutumba, and CPA Albert Otete. I don't see any others in the audience. Yes. I'd also like to recognize. There's some online. So online we have CPA Laura Orobia. And CPA Gloria. Okay, thank you very much. We'd also like to recognize the past presidents. I don't see any in the room. But whoever is online, we recognize your presence. And also the past council members that may be present online, recognize you. I also want to recognize the candidates for this election who are present and online. And any other important personalities, any dignitaries that are present, recognize you, members, ladies and gentlemen. And we appreciate your service to the profession, and we are always very glad to have you in our midst. I would also like to welcome new members of the Institute who are joining us for the AGM for the very first time. Are there any in the room? Any new members? Anyone online? Any new members online? If they could just raise their hands for recognition. Before we proceed, I don't see any in the room here. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Oh, there are quite a number online. So thank you very much for attending this AGM for the very first time as members. Colleagues, unfortunately, during the year, we have lost a number of our members, and therefore we are going to run a video of the fallen members. And so let's raise to our feet as we observe a moment of silence in honor of our colleagues who have passed on. As the IT team gets ready, so we lost Augustine Kasansula. He passed on 2nd July 2024. Sauga Namleme, 10th August 2024. Christopher Kapipire, 4th October 2024. Samali Waswa Kiseka, 12th November 2024. Frederick Nyegenye, 16th November 2024. Remigius Sebukera, 23rd December 2024. Wilberforce Gary Senjako, 6 April 2025. Erieza Luvoje Kagwa, 4th May 2025. And Gordon Biakatonda Asimwe, 31st May 2025. We also lost some students. Paul Oiba on 12th August 2024. Thomas Ongom, 19th September 2024. Joseph Sempija, 10th November 2024. And Betty Ajok, 1st June 2025. So may their souls rest in eternal peace. You may be seated.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Thank you very much. IT, the online, I think team is complaining they're not hearing very clearly. Could you just try and rectify that, please? So dear CPAs, those attending in person and online, the staff of the Secretariat, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again, and I would like to welcome you to this 31st annual general meeting of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda. This is a special occasion for me because today marks my last address to members as your president as we transit into a new council leadership. Accountants know that good governance is the foundation of a sustainable organization. Therefore, thank you for turning up to attend this AGM, and thank you to those of you who voted. I know that many of you are anxiously waiting to receive the results of the election. The elections committee is ready with a report, and it will come shortly as an agenda item. I know many of you, ladies and gentlemen, with us today is our tenure of council comes to an end. I'm overwhelmed with gladness over the tremendous accomplishments that we have achieved. And I say we because our success is a combined effort. Through you members honoring your membership obligations, volunteering yourselves to serve, and supporting the Institute's activities and participating in our community's initiatives, you have greatly contributed to this success. So a round of applause to yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. So this council took office in 2023, so it's been a 2-year term. We took office in July 2023, and this was during the post-COVID period. And with that, we had pledged to serve you diligently and honor our commitments to members. So together we have worked hard and delivered the Institute's mandate, and I'm happy to report the following achievements. And I'll start with the financial performance. I'm pleased to report that we have grown the Institute's annual income from 12 billion at the end of 2022 to 17 billion at the end of 2024. Obugalo. This growth is attributed to the growth in membership, student fees, events, and investment income. I must add that the numbers have also grown member numbers have grown from 3,980 in 2022 to 4,500 in 2024. While our active students have also grown from below 10,000 to now 12,000 by the end of 2024. So thank you, members, for ensuring that you continue to mentor and encourage the young generation to join our profession as we work on its sustainability. There was a launch of revised syllabuses. So with the launch of the revised syllabuses for the accounting technician's diploma, certified tax advisor, and the certified public accountant course in January 2023, the council had the task of overseeing its operationalization and aligning it with the new learning framework of the Uganda Accountancy Qualification Framework, which had been approved by the National Council of Higher Education in January. The aim was to standardize the process for acquiring accountancy qualifications in Uganda. For CPA students, the highlight of the Uganda Accountancy Qualifications Framework has been the weight that the UAQF places on CPA when compared with a first degree. The Uganda Accountants Qualification places CPA at the level of a postgraduate qualification, and this has been useful in reinforcing the value of CPA in the market. Similarly, students had appreciated the award of certificates after every level of the CPA course. To enhance IT skills among CPA students and graduates, the council innovated computer-based exams, and this has begun with the proper CPA 18 integration of knowledge. So ladies and gentlemen, during our tenure, 654 students have completed their studies under the ICPA examinations framework. As some members might be aware, effective November 2023, the assessment of the Accountants Technicians Diploma was transferred to Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board, UBTEB, which is now the Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessments Board, UVTAB. Council took the strategic decision as a measure to comply with government policy regarding assessment of lower diplomas, as well as mainstreaming all accountancy diplomas assessed by UVTAB, being to have a clear framework for progression to CPA for their professional accountancy education. So effective 2026, the accountant technician's diploma will no longer be examined under ICPAU, but it will now be examined under the Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessment Board. In respect to accountancy research, we conducted 2 studies in 2024, namely the cost-benefit analysis of the implementation of the IFRS for SMEs in Uganda and the factors affecting performance in the CPA core papers. The second study was inspired by the agency to address students' performance in the CPA exams. The results of the study will be launched this year, and this will inform the way forward. We now have a staff dedicated to research, and the plan is to grow that function into a fully fledged research arm of the institute. Master responsive specialty on demand courses. Market responsive specialty on demand courses to deepen the institute's relevance to non-traditional members has been well received. So we introduced a number of master classes, and in particularly the master class for the holders of the foreign accountancy qualifications, which was introduced to simplify membership eligibility for holders. And this has been very impactful. Of those who enrolled for the first edition in 2024, 81 successfully completed the program and graduated in March this year. Many have since enrolled as full members of ICPAU. Key to note is that the second and final edition of the program will run from 21st to 25th July 2025. So members, if you know someone who would benefit from this masterclass, especially those who completed their foreign accountancy qualifications before 2014. So please encourage them to enroll via the Institute's website so that we can help them join the Institute and we grow our profession. A number of events were held, but key to note was new events such as the Public Finance Management Conference have increased the Institute's relevance in national policy development. While the C-Suite Forum has increased awareness of the CPA brand in the C-Suite space, the Institute continues to prove its event organizing prowess by hosting high-profile events like the Public Finance Management Conference for Africa, which was held in February this year and organized in partnership with the African Union and the Pan-African Federation of Accountants. In respect to advocacy, we provided feedback on amendment bills and submitted policy recommendations through the 11th and 12th CPA economic forums. Through the Taxation and Economic Policy Panel, we provided comments on the tax amendment bills for 2024-2025 and 2025-2026 national budgets. In respect to standards, the Institute has been part of the task force for the development of the world's first international financial reporting guidance for non-profit organizations, and they are working together with Humetum and Chartered Institute of Public Finance and Accountancy. Through your support, the Institute has provided input to the exposure drafts for the guidance, and the final draft is being awaited. Publication of the first international financial reporting guidance for non-profit organizations is expected in September this year. And so this is excellent news for our colleagues in the non-profit sector. Regarding sustainability, in September 2025, the Institute made a pronouncement on the adoption, 24. The Institute made a pronouncement on the adoption of the IFRS Sustainability Disclosure Standards issued by the International Sustainability Standards Board for use in Uganda. The IFRS Sustainability Disclosure Standards address long-standing reporting challenges, equipping companies and investors to better understand performance and comply with the ever-evolving regulations. And we are grateful to all who supported this milestone through providing responses to exposure drafts. The Institute is developing the implementation guidance, and this will soon be released, so early adoption is encouraged. In terms of quality assurance, during our tenure, we completed the 5th cycle of the quality assurance program, which commenced in 2022. So 281 firms were reviewed in this cycle, and emphasis was placed on the new quality management standards and compliance with the anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism requirements. Firms are continuously encouraged to address the deficiencies identified during the review exercise. The 5th cycle showed that there were 56 firms that improved, a 26% improvement, and 27% of the firms maintained their classes as had been previously classified. The 6th cycle focuses on supporting improvement through mentorship, practical simulations for engagement, document management, but also after the 6th cycle, we'll also be invoking the sanctions mechanisms as a last resort to those firms that do not respond and implement the recommendations from the review. Going to the Institute's properties, having broken ground for the construction of the Institute's contemporary office block on plot 42, Bukoto Street, I'm happy to report progress. Construction is ongoing at the 6th level out of the 7 levels. I believe that some of you have witnessed this progress, and we expect that this building is going to be completed late this year. And I encourage all of you to always support the Institute's effort with the properties. They have become our anchor for sustainable activities at an affordable cost. I'm also pleased to report that the Institute purchased land in Globa to construct a modern learning center that will also handle examination facilities for the Kampala Center. Details of the project will be actualized by the incoming council. I think one of the greatest highlights for our tenure has been the launch of the Institute's 2024 to 2028 strategic plan. which we completed in 2024. The plan is with a renewed purpose, vision, and mission. The new strategic plan is heavily outward looking, and it aims at developing and empowering accountants to transform communities. So our vision is a globally recognized promoter of accountants for sustainable economies. And our mission is to develop and regulate accountants for professional excellence and sustainable impact, with the purpose of empowering accountants to transform communities. And our tagline is now we create impact, remaining true to our motto, which is true and fair. The regional member networks have and continue to be a vital avenue for delivering the new strategic plan. Members have participated in impactful community projects, which include career guidance, outreach, blood donation drives, environment conservation efforts, and financial literacy. Ankole Regional Members Network, Bunyoro Regional Members Network, Busoga Regional Members Network, Central Regional Members Network, Chigezi Regional Members Network, Lango Regional Members Network, Mid-Eastern Regional Members Network, Teso Karamoja Regional Members Network, and the West Nile Regional Members Network. I don't know if there are any chairperson of the regional member networks present here. Yes, please stand up for recognition. We appreciate what you're doing. And even those online, we recognize you. So those are the members who are driving the activities at the regions. And thank you, Chairperson, for offering yourselves to serve the profession. We are yet to activate the Rwenzori Regional Members Network and Southern Buganda Regional Member Networks, although discussions and consultations are on. So this is a call to members who live in and work in those two sub-regions to step forward and support the network's activation. Ladies and gentlemen, the ICPAU Benevolent Fund is fully operational, having been launched in September last year. So this is a members fund created to provide support during bereavement and other times of need. Please enroll so that we can grow the fund and increase the benefits of looking after each other in times of need. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge John Bosco Ntangare. Last year, we said goodbye to the long-serving employee, John Bosco Ntangare, the former director of education. JB, as we fondly call him, retired in June last year, having served for 26 years. He's recognized for his contributions towards establishing and growing the Institute's examination scheme. The Institute celebrated JB's with a farewell dinner and rewarded him for his service. He was awarded the honorary membership for ICPAU. He is currently the only honorary member of the Institute that we have, and we wish John the best in his endeavors. So as I conclude, I would like to just remind you of the upcoming events for 2025, beginning with the 2025 Accountancy Service Awards. So this year's Accountancy Service Awards is a standalone event, and it's independent of the annual seminar. If you recall, we usually used to combine it with the annual seminar, but this time we're doing it as a standalone event. And the purpose is to design to make it bigger and better as we mark the 10th anniversary, and also to give it more visibility. Therefore, I'd like to encourage you to participate actively when the call for nominations is issued. Remember, you can self-nominate for some categories, so don't feel shy, self-nominate. Entries for the 2025 Financial Reporting Awards are also open until 30th September. So members, these are opportunities for you to be recognized for your efforts in supporting the growth of organizations. Please leverage these opportunities to uplift yourselves and your organizations. And next month, from the 9th to the 11th of July, we have the CP Economic Forum. And I believe that you've all received communication to this in this respect. So registration is still in progress, and you're encouraged to register via the Institute's website. We also have the annual seminar coming up from the 3rd to the 5th of September. And this year we are celebrating 30 years of the annual seminar. Updates will be shared, so please plan to attend this event. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, on my own and on behalf of the council, I would like to take this opportunity to offer gratitude, and in no particular order. I would like to appreciate the following categories of people, my fellow council members, for the great teamwork that we had. Members, for the support that you have provided in terms of paying your dues, but also in participating in the activities of the institute. Our students, for also showing interest in our institute and taking the active steps to enroll for the courses. Staff of the Secretariat, for the support that you continue to give to members, and also for executing the institute's activities. Thank you very much. And maybe those who are in the room, could you stand up for recognition? Staff of the institute. Thank you very much for the work that you do. For the past presidents, for their mentoring and continuous guidance that they continue to give. And to government and the institute's partners and service providers, and for all our employers who pay our membership and pay for our attendance, we thank all of them for supporting the institute. So today, we will pass over the leadership of our vibrant professional accountancy organization, ICPAU, to another team. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the support over the last 2 years. To the incoming council members, we pledge our support during this transition process and through your tenure. Remember, voluntary service requires commitment and sacrifice, and sometimes voluntary service requires commitment and sacrifice, and sometimes it will get hard and even overwhelming. But you must remember commitment to serve, and you must honor it for us if we are to continue creating impact. I thank you all, and God bless you. So if there are any questions or comments regarding my communication, please do write them on a paper and forward them to us, and we'll respond to them in the question and answer section. I'll now proceed with the business of the annual general meeting as contained in the agenda. Items 1 to 3. So starting with agenda 1, to review, confirm and adopt the minutes of the 30th annual general meeting and the matters arising. So I call upon the secretary to take us through the minutes.
Thank you, Chairperson. I believe everyone received these minutes on 11th June 2025, and you have read through. They are simple, 16 pages. So I'll not go through verbatim. And I've just talked about the attendance. The attendance then was 198. Chairperson, I'm happy to report that today's attendance is good. We have 342 online. And if you add on about 100 here, we may be about 400. So the required quorum at the start that time, there were 40 online and 31 physical. Yes, so the meeting proceeded very well and it was concluded very well. Chair, unless there's anyone who disputes the minutes, I request that you put them to a vote of confirmation.
So since we received these meeting minutes earlier, is there anyone who has a correction in substance for what was discussed? Is there a hand up online for anyone who might have, who's disputing the record that may not have been captured accurately?
There is Brenda Nasanga.
Okay. Can you unmute?
Unmute and she speaks.
Please unmute Brenda. Have you unmuted her? Brenda, can you go ahead and speak? Brenda, your hand was up in respect to the minutes. Can you please go ahead and raise your concern?
Hello, everyone. I raised my hand when they were asking people who were attending first time AGM.
Oh, and she forgot to put it down.
Okay. All right, thank you. So anyone else who has comments on the minutes before we go ahead to adopt them? Yes, please.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know if this is of substance as you have guided, but I don't see my name among those that attended the meeting.
That is substance, my friend. What are your name?
My name is Hannington Tesasida, FM 3972.
Okay, so we'll note that 39772. Okay.
Good afternoon, President.
But sometimes people attend and they don't sign the register. It's no evidence that we have attended. So if there's anyone who has just come and sat this time and didn't sign the register, kindly sign. Those online are easy to capture because the system records your joining.
Yes,
My name is Joseph Kagwa, FM 458. I attended online. I don't see my name as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chair. Number attendance list and number 87. My number is the FM 992, but not 922.
87.
Appendix 1, number 87. My FM number is the 992.
992. Okay.
Not 922.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Good afternoon, members.
Good afternoon.
I'm CPA Ronald Kawesi. When I see those who sent apologies, they're actually 21. So there is a repetition of on number 18 and 19. One has to be striked out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else? What about online? Is there anyone online who would like to make a comment on the minutes? IT team, is there anyone online? Okay, so can you unmute them?
Thank you, members. Having attended the last AGM and gone through the minutes, I want to confirm that they reflect a true picture of whatever transpired. Therefore, we can adopt them as a true reflection of our business thing. I submit.
Thank you. Is the second hand? Have you unmuted the second part? Please, who's that? Continue. I think we'll continue. If you're unable to speak, please do type into the question and answer section so that we can pick up your comment on the minutes. Is there anything there in respect to the minutes? There is, eh? Okay.
Yes.
Do you have it here?
Chairperson, in the chats, what I see, it's about people who are saying they are missing on the attendance list. And those who say they were online, but they are not registered as an attendance. Now, there is a tendency to attend the meeting on YouTube because we offer that link. Probably, if you attend online using YouTube, we don't know that you have attended. Attendance online is you sign into the platform. Yeah, because we have just shared even another link for YouTube now. But some will attend, yes, but that attendance is not known.
So if your name is not appearing on the list and you attended, please advise Secretariat. I think you can write in the question and answer, write your name and FM number, and this will be captured as in the minutes, as a correction to the minutes. So with that, there's a hand.
Yes, CPA Jobra Chisako. There is a name appearing having attended and is also absent at the same time. 186, 187, sorry, and 20 in the absentees.
187, Sylvia Naigaga.
It's called double entry.
But it's a possibility. There are those who give apology. Can help us because we have seen it before. Those who give apologies and they come and sign attendance. Yeah.
What's the problem? Or if you hadn't received all the bank confirmation, we got the last one last week and the client hadn't dated the accounts. So why are we signing yesterday? The letter of rep is dated 24. So
Sylvia, did you attend? Okay, so then just the one of apologies. Any other observations? Can they check?
CPA Joseph Sako. I don't know whether these are twins, also 18 and 19, the same person on the list of apologies.
We corrected that one. Thank you. Okay, if there are no other comments, can we then get someone to call upon a member to move a motion that will confirm and adopt the minutes and another member to second? Oh, we have someone already proposed online. So can I get someone to second?
CPA Philip Kasiba, I second the minutes. You can proceed. FM 4174. Thank you.
Thank you. So the motion to confirm and adopt the minutes has been proposed by, I didn't get the name of the lady, CPA online, and seconded. That's seconded online. Then Daniel Mwase and Sylvia Adong proposed and seconded by CPA Joseph Osako. I now declare that the confirmation and adoption of the minutes, Philip, is unanimously carried. We'll make sure that the minute captures the correct, correct name. There's a proposal from a member that it would be good if you could all send corrections to the secretary before the AGM. Or is it that we are reading the minutes from here? Please do read the minutes before and send us the corrections before the meeting. Thank you very much. So now I invite the secretary to take us through matters arising. There was a schedule of matters arising that was circulated. So I call upon the secretary to take us through.
There were just a few issues. The others may be read through the council report in the annual report. But those that identified where needed an actual response was on minute 6.2.5 CPD compliance. And a survey in 2024 December was done to run and establish why there's non-compliance with the CPD. What we got from the feedback, it pointed to a need for a broader, cost-friendly, thematic widely coverage, increased practical sessions, and more engagement with non-traditional and forward-looking topics, such as ESG reporting, green finance, forensics, AI, but still with auditing and taxation. So we're trying to diversify the CPDs and try to look into the non-traditional areas. There was also one for research, but you have heard from the president's communication. Research is now mainstreamed. We have a research work and research program, which is underway. We have recruited a focal person for research, and specifically the minutes wanted us to have a portal where donation can be made. For that, the finance portals are not yet completed, but we hope we'll be able to complete them this year, create an option for donation. And we have now a dedicated day for research. I think it will be called either as a research symposium or conference around the accountancy week in November. I think the date is 14th November this year. Then the last one was on accountancy qualification framework, how to promote it throughout the year up to now for all career guidance outreaches or activities that we execute at universities and tertiary institutions. Uganda Accountancy Qualification Framework is embedded to promote it and enlighten ourselves and those listening on what it is and how it sits within the Uganda Higher Qualification Framework. I submit, Chair.
Has any of you picked up any items from the minutes that should have been responded to and they are not captured in the matters arising?
Madam President, mine is just a proposal for the future as we continue improving our systems. It would be nice to have a one-pager, an action paper of matters arising or in lieu of matters arising prepared by the Secretariat and attached to the minutes so that everybody reads it in advance and would save a lot of time instead of ad hoc trying to see what could have been worked and we are not sure. It would make our business smoother. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope Secretariat you've captured that proposal. And in addition to that, I would also like to say that can we send out these minutes maybe a month after the AGM, within the month after the AGM, so that people can send their comments and any corrections in good time, because so that when the deliberations are still fresh, but when you send them 1 year down the line, then yeah, so let's just try and be a little bit more efficient with the minutes. Okay, if that is not, we'll then proceed on to consider agenda item number 2, which is to consider and adopt the report of the council. So the report of the council is contained in pages 13 to 72 of the annual integrated report that was circulated to the members on 31st May and again on 11th June, together with a notice. So I'm going to take it that you have read the report, but let me invite the secretary to council to take us through the highlights of this report.
Thank you, Chairperson. Members, you heard this report. There are those who actually called me about the report, and all issues were answered. I invite members to look at the business model that the Institute uses. It's how we create value for the profession, for the country, and it's important as we are looking at the integrated report for you to be cognizant of how your institute operates. Then we have the risk management framework, which we follow, and we try to mitigate the risks using that framework. Then we have operations, which are segmented into education services, standards and regulation services, engagement services, and support services. All these have been described, and we have given so far what was done in the year 2024. We follow a calendar year. On those who called, someone was asking me about our calendar year. It's a calendar year, not a fiscal year of the government. We move, and I am not going to go through all these the way how we serve. I'll run to look at the next best segment, which is a sustainability report. Kindly look through our value-added statement, read it together with the financials to see how we demonstrate value created. Area of influence of our stakeholders is also indicated, and how we engage with our stakeholders. Then we move on to the governance section. There are also some pictures for you to look at. They indicate what activities council executed. But we move to the governance report, and it shows the service by the volunteers, starting with the council members, their attendance, and the committees that serve the institute in public interest. And then we have a summary of the financial performance, which I also believe you have listened to from the president. We have the total income and expenditure, and the net surplus is shown, and how the members' funds are aligned against the liabilities currently in the institute. And it ends with the reminding you that we have an auditor as the institute, and the report was looked at by the auditor. Chair, I submit.
So if you have any questions reporting to the report of council, again, let's treat it like the rest. Please write your concerns and your questions, your comments, and forward them to us for handling. So we will now go on to handle agenda item number 3, which is to receive, consider, and adopt the audited financial statements of the Institute for the year ended 31st December 2024 and the auditor's report. The audited financial statements of the year 31st December 2024 are contained in the pages 74 to 98 of the annual integrated report that was circulated to you members on 31st May and again on 11th June. And I assume that you've read this report in detail. So let me invite CPA Timothy, David Ediomu, the chair, and the chair of Finance, Planning and Administration Committee, to take us through the highlights of the audited financial statements.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so I'm just going to take you through the highlights. I think the secretary has touched on a bit of it, but the highlights are on page 71 of that report. And since there are numbers, I'm sure the accountants here are focused on numbers. Let me now read a bit of the language. I just sum it up to easier comprehension of the financials. But this was circulated beforehand. Our income grew. As you can all see, revenue grew by 11.9%. If you clap for nothing else, at least clap for that. And why did it grow? Member subscriptions, students renewal, investment income. Of course, against that, we also had an increase in expenditure. But overall, between the 2 years, we are fairly balanced, which is a good thing. There's a graph below there. Once again, for emphasis, I'm looking at page 71. I see some of you on page 1, and others are on page 7. So I'm looking at page 71. So the graph below there in our government colors, with a bit of the other party also. And the other one, yeah, that graph there has the performance for the 5 years. As you can observe, we have been growing and we have kept growing. The sky is the limit. So it compares the years 2020 to 2024. So if you look at your income of 5.8 billion in 2020, today we have grown to almost 17 billion in 2024, which is quite tremendous. But of course, discount that for the COVID years that affected performance. Now I quickly run to 10.2. The Institute recorded a surplus of 3.1 billion shillings. That is just under $1 million, which might not be a lot of money in the US, but for us here in Kampala, we're excited. So let's clap for ourselves. This is a very slight drop from the year 2023, where we had 3.2, but we are still doing extremely well. Again, there's a graph besides that in the correct colors. I'm sure we can all appreciate the trajectory of growth. We now turn the page to page 72. How did our total assets perform? Our total assets increased by about 13.6%. to 31.5 billion. Again, that is just under $10 million, if my math serves me right. So let's appreciate that with a hand clap. So increase in various areas, property, plant, and equipment. We also had a number for prepayments and other assets. Our members' funds also grew on note 10.4, as you can see. And I think that's the last note on the financials. I've tried to take you very quickly through. The detail is in the full report, which you can read at your leisure. This was circulated earlier. I beg to submit.
Thank you, CPA Timothy. So now I'd like to take the opportunity to invite the Institute's auditors, Provis Mazars, BRJ, Certified Public Accountants, to present their report to members.
Thank you, Chairperson, members of the Council, fellow CPAs. Good afternoon. I have a unique opportunity to present the opinion of the Institute to the members. Our opinion is laid out on pages 74 to 76 of the report as provided. And since we are all CPAs, I'm not going to go through every component of the opinion. I'm just going to stress the salient features. So it's an unmodified opinion. Just read the opinion paragraph. Report on the financial statements, the opinion. We have audited the financial statements of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, the Institute, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st of December 2024, the statement of financial performance, the statement of changes in members' funds, and the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and note to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the Institute as at 31st of December 2024, and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with international financial reporting standards and have been prepared in a manner required by the Accountants Act, Chapter 294. The rest of the opinion is really a standard unmodified opinion, be the report on other legal and regulatory requirements as required by the Accountants Act, Cap 294. We report to you, based on our audit, that we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for purposes of our audit. In our opinion, paper books of account have been kept by the Institute so far as appears from my examination of those books, and the Institute statement of financial position and statement of financial performance are in agreement with the books of account. The engagement practitioner on the audit resulting in this independent auditor's report is CPA Innocent Mahangazi, practitioner number P432, who is myself, signed off on 31st of May 2025. Submit.
Thank you very much. I now invite a member to move a motion to receive the report of council and the audited financial statements, and another member to second the motion before we can proceed to deliberations. Any proposals online? Members, you don't want to receive the report and discuss it.
President Joseph Kagwa, FM 458, I propose that we receive the report for discussion.
Thank you.
Emmanuel Juko, FM 3876. I second your proposal that we receive the report.
Okay. So the motion to receive the report of council and the audited financial statement has been proposed by CPA Joseph and seconded by CPA Mr. Juko. So with that then, I invite your questions and comments of any of the reports, the report of council, audited financial statements, and my earlier communication, my earlier present communication. So the floor is open for you to receive, for us to receive any comments. We had asked you to write and send them forward. We have only one here so far. Any online? Question and answer section. While Derek is looking, I'll read this one that I have. I wish and request, and this is from CPA Patrick Biabakama Kaberenge FM 007. I wish and request ICPA Council to review the term and tenure of Council. 3 years will bring more stability and progress for business and growth of ICPAU. Move the term from 2 to 3 years. Council should consider this proposal. I guess this kind of proposal requires an amendment of the Act. And therefore, this can only be considered at that point when there's an opportunity to amend the Act. So the questions, I have a number of questions. There are 11 here. Yes. What is the progress status of the Center of Tax Excellence? I'll leave this to Derek, Secretary, you answer that. What is the future of the CTA graduates in light of the non-functioning Center of Tax Excellence? I still give that to you, Secretary. What is the progress in establishing a separate membership for CTA qualification? So those three are for you. And then, still regarding CTA, what is the end game plan for CTA qualification in light of the non-visibility having been placed under CPA? Okay. What is the plan of ICPAU to collaborate with other established centers of tax excellence within the region and Africa to build the capacity of the proposed center of tax excellence? And what is the plan of ICPAU to collaborate with other universities to establish an MBA program that would reduce MBA period from 2 years to 1 year, given that CPA qualification is now at the level of a postgraduate diploma? Derek, I'll hand this over to you once I finish reading them out. So what is the plan for ICPAU to collaborate with SCCA to offer the tax variant paper under the SCCA qualification, as this will add value to members that will come out of the SCCA pipeline into membership? Then what is the logic of having public finance management paper 13 under the CPA as a compulsory paper, yet it may not be of utility or value for those pursuing careers in private sector, and also that the Ugandan economy is largely private sector driven? What is the demographic outlook of the CPA membership in terms of age-wise, gender-wise? How does Council intend to improve attendance of the AGM, given that less than 342 members or 400 members versus a membership of over 3,500 persons? And then how does ICPA intend to deliberately broaden the membership of the Council by having both representation of the younger generation, Gen Z, millennials, and the older and senior generation over 55? Maybe Derek should first take those.
Thank you, President. All questions about Center of Tax Excellency, I'm going to answer them without referring to one specific question, but what we are doing with that angle. It's through Council put together a Center of Tax Excellency, and it's supposed to function as a voice and thought leader on matters of tax in the country. Its operationalization follows the same procedures of all functions of the institute. It starts with the concept paper gets approved, then you start looking for resources. I think this member may be looking at the center as a fully standalone entity. But the format of the concept paper was to have a think tank of all practitioners of tax who are members of the institute to channel their thought process through that center. And we have a staff who congregates or puts together all those thoughts for a paper or for a processes of tax to be handled. So it's functional, but with baby steps. One of the challenges, which is not written because always annual reports don't write challenges, is about staff. We are understaffed, and also we had staff exits in the area that's supposed to handle that area, because all sits under standards and regulation. So we are moving, and we are sure we will deliver the Center of Tax Excellency. CTA, if you look through the reports that were shared, annual report, and if you listen to the president's report, it's about specializing the accountant's proficiency. And the creation of the CTA course was not necessarily to create a category of members, because we are the Institute of Certified Public Accounts of Uganda. And under our regulation, there are 7 areas: financial reporting, auditing, taxation, financial management, insolvency, information technology, and management accounting. So it does not necessarily mean that the council is to create a membership for all those areas. So if you desire a membership of CTA, you may kindly have to write a paper to council for them to deliberate and see what it was. But there is that Center of Tax Excellency where all people who are CTA graduates should exercise their proficiency. They should become, if I may use the word guru, they should become the guru of taxation in Uganda, use it to profile the tax practice in Uganda, and use it as a way of sharing their knowledge. So its future is sound. It may be crawling now, but soon it will start standing, walking and running. Yes. Now, President, you gave me a task which I don't know. So they are all related to tax. Okay, tax, I think I have explained. Then someone asked, why is it mandatory for all people to attempt public finance management in Uganda? I'll phrase it that way. And he said, Uganda is private sector led. I disagree. Uganda is moving towards having a private sector led economy. But as we speak right now, it is government led. So you need to understand public finance management. That's the only way you'll tap into it. That's the only way you'll support the economy as it stands right now. So for us, we'll continue having it as a mandatory paper because our aim is to support the economy of Uganda. What's the demographic? Well, I don't know, Chair, whether this is for AGM purposes. The demographic of the profession has to be determined in several phases. The institute students, they're about 50-50, female and the male. The membership is more male, about 68% male, and the remaining is female. But that is going to change very soon. Because the graduates who are coming out, if you read the graduates that we are read last session, they are more female graduating than the male. Yeah. Age-wise, we all know that in this country, that the majority are the young. So I don't know why you're asking about age. You should just do by extrapolation that the older generation is young, is fewer in the membership than the young. Yeah. But the dilemma is majority of the young are not full members. So much as they are on the platforms and they call themselves CPAs, they are not full members. So if I take the register of the full members, those above 35 are more than those below 35. How does council intend to improve attendance of AGM? I think by giving this online. Already we are talking of 375. That's good. But you see, council cannot pull members from their homes. It's the decision by a member to attend. A call was made. A reminder was made. An online platform was given. So what else will council need to do? Sitting allowance? No, but I don't think that will be a membership body. That will be something else. How does ICPAU intend to deliberately broaden the membership of the council by having a presentation? This is a law. We'll probably look at it at the law review process that is going on. So there's nothing much here.
I think what I would like to emphasize is the issue around membership. I think let's encourage our young people. It's not just about finishing and the exams and passing. It's about doing the next step and also becoming members. So if you have any young people, please ask them, encourage them to join the institute so that we start to get an accurate balance in terms of membership that reflects our demographics. So these questions are done. There's another question here from CPA Benon Rutungane, page 84, basis of opinion. How are the auditors independent of the institute which licenses or regulates them? Can we get an auditor for future years from neighboring countries?
It sounds like a good question, but it is improper. Let me tell you the fact. One time I was called to Parliament to ask why the Auditor General should be audited by someone from Uganda. And I asked, who else should audit the Auditor General? That can't we get someone from outside Uganda? You mean there are no auditors in Uganda? To import someone to come and audit the Office of Auditor General. So some of these things we have to be patriotic. It does not in any way impair an auditor's independence because he got a license from you. Unless that person, even what he does outside is wrong. So it calls for self-reflection as us as Ugandans. Look through what we desire to develop ourselves, to develop our country, to develop our institutes. I will leave that to the chair to add on or to dispute what I have said.
Thank you. Any questions, any other questions online?
Thank you, Chair. My name is Dorothy Nseka Chiaga, CPA FM 444. On page 80, on the cash flow statement, I have seen a progressive reduction in the liquidity. Maybe we need assurance going forward on whether we are able to meet our obligations at this declining rate. Thank you.
Chair Finance.
I think there is no need to worry. If you look critically, our investments have also gone up. So the money is just moving from liquid cash to another form. So we are still safe and we are still generating sufficient cash in our operations. Thank you.
And the President didn't say it, but he also said that getting auditors outside Uganda, they will still have to be licensed in Uganda to audit. So I wanted to add on, since I'm the Secretary of the Council. Yeah. Yeah. There is someone who asked about collaborations with universities. We have tried. And if there are any of you sitting on university councils, please help us to pass on that voice. And one of the reasons for the Uganda Accountancy Qualification Framework was to exactly do what you're asking, to let them see how the education framework on the professional side fits also with the academia. But we are hitting closed, should I call them closed doors or hard rocks? So probably what we'll ask is a good number of you to go into academia, go into teaching, so that you change the theory that side. But we are working with those that are there. We only have Uganda Matters that created a bachelor's that moves with the framework that we have. The rest, we are still talking. And if any of you sits on those boards, please amplify the voice. We would like to have as many universities as possible to help us train Ugandans in a way that shortens the learning period and the qualifying period for a professional accountant. Yeah, I don't see other questions. Unfortunately, I changed the gadget and I think I lost all the others before.
Dorothy, those movements are not 16.9. So you'll 16.9, that's on page 93. Your held to collect investments have grown from 18.9 to about 20 billion. So although your physical cash has gone down in the bank, you have growth elsewhere. Liquidity is not at risk.
Okay. Any other questions in the room? We have 3 there and another one this side. And the good thing, the 3 are next to each other.
Yeah, thank you so much, the chair and everyone. My issue is about registration of those young people who finish the course, become associate members, but fail to register and enroll as members. I think there's need for carrying out a bit of research. I know there are very many outside there, including my region. There are certain particular reasons which they normally give. And I think if you can undertake some bit of research, some bit of inventory and find out why are they not enrolling. There are some serious cases which is our regional members meetings concern. But I thought even those issues come up in this annual general meeting, but I'm seeing they have not been brought clearly. There is a concern which these people have, which it is need to be considered. Thank you. Oh, my name is CPA Patrick Oruk, Chairperson, Lango Regional Members Network.
CPA Jobra. Madam President, my concern is with regarding the number of people I've interacted with who are lamenting about the high charges which seem to be maybe hindering people from attending CPDs and seminars. And looking at the financial statements, Madam President, I see a profit of 3 billion year after year, and a fund, an accumulated surplus, sorry, yes, and an accumulated fund of 24 billion. And the chairperson of the finance committee has just referred us to page 93, which shows enormous investments in financial instruments. The issue is there hope or a remedy for people for the fees to be maybe subsidized or reduced so that more members attend these seminars for purposes of accumulating wisdom and knowledge? Thank you.
Before I hand over to the chair, member services, just to.
I was going to ask next.
Let the questions come in.
Okay.
Thank you. CPA Alfred Kabuchu is my name. I have a few questions and comments. In addition to the question from my neighbor, Dr. Jobla, we are requesting that the chair and the team please explain so that we understand better the surplus reported vis-a-vis the member concerns on the annual subscriptions and all other charges. I had someone mention that the 3.1 is actually still less than $1 million, but I think you need to explain better to us to understand. My question and comment number 2, Derek commented somewhere about public sector and private sector and us being a private or government-led economy. Though we know someone mentions that Uganda is a public sector-led economy. And then when I go back to, I think, page 77, is it where it is indicated not 16.11B on capital grants? Generally on grants, we don't seem to be getting grants from anywhere. Have we had efforts by the institute with our stakeholders to get support in terms of grants from either government or other stakeholders which would support on some of the initiatives of the institute? Because here it is reported that we've not got anything. Thank you. Point number 3, again, also comes to our service that we give to the members through the regional networks. In the period in which we've just come through, one of the concerns from the regional networks was either lack of office and the cost of CPDs in the regions and how expensive it is for them. So can you please comment on efforts to support the regional networks, either with the secretariat subsidizing the costs or any other support that would make them more effective in terms of delivering service to their members? And number 4, on page 69, you indicate the various committees of council. Chair, there is a committee on which I have served for a very long time, and I don't see it indicated here, plus a subcommittee. I wanted to know, are the subcommittees all exhaustively reported, or are there many others that have been left out? If that is the case, can you please identify the ones that have been left out and incorporate them in the report for that record? For the record, I do not see the subcommittee that is handling the development of plot 42, Bukoto. Okay. There's also another one, but I'll leave it at that. Last but not least, Madam Chair, during the campaigns which we have all seen, there are many issues that members have come up with. Some having very good points, others having points that require us to reflect. I'd like to put it on record that we request the Secretariat to go through all the issues that were raised by members on various platforms, and we provide them a thought process so that at a future date, there is appropriate feedback to members. In that way, we have handled everything. Thank you very much.
There's one more person at the back, just next.
Thank you, President. CPA Rawlings Masiko. I want to re-echo the concern about the fees we pay for seminars. Like my colleague has said, if we are looking at training members and advancing their knowledge, we need to look forward on how we can subsidize so that even the young generation who are earning maybe low can be in position to afford. My second question and concern is on page 96 under administrative expenses. If you look on the line of professional fees, if you look at the movement in 2023, it was 38 million, but 2024, you can see the movement is huge to 154 million. I think if you can clarify, it would be better. Thank you very much. I submit.
Page 96, professional fees, not 16.20. All right, thank you. We'll take those and then we'll take another round. So I'll ask the chairperson, member services, to respond to those questions that relate to member services. And the issues of the platform, I think that's an action that will be taken out of here to see if we can pick up any issues, any valid issues that are there. Timothy will also respond to those questions that are in respect to finance. And for the committees, I don't know, CPA Alfred, whether there are any other, because the one for the project for the special purpose committee, it's just for that purpose. But it's like a subcommittee of projects. So the bigger committee is projects. And that's why that committee is not included in this record. But you mentioned that there are others. Maybe it would be of interest for us to know which one that is. But that one for Bukoto is considered as just a special purpose project. But I will hand over to start with Timothy. Timothy, you had a response that you had wanted to give earlier.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson. I just wanted to make a comment on the surplus we are all happy about. We are building, and at that point, by the time we close 2024, all the money for the construction going on now was still on account. So that might be a little deceptive. We might be unnecessarily excited about that. And then number two, we haven't filled our structures at the institute, so we are still recruiting more staff. So some of these surpluses will automatically go down because that building will have to be furnished as well. It will have to be completed. You have an exam center coming up. So run those numbers and you notice that it's rosy, but you also have some thorns around it. Then number two on the cost of CPDs.
Maybe before you continue, on the issue of the surpluses, I think there's also been a deliberate effort by the Institute to make sure that it is self-sustaining and it does not borrow. So all the development work, the approach is that you accumulate the funds, then execute the project. And as he's explained, after the projects that we've done, that surplus is probably going to go down. Then we'll have to start another round of building it up for the next projects that we'd like to do.
Yeah, just also wanted to make a comment on the cost of CPDs. Yes, your points are noted, but attendance might not be necessarily related to cost because we have also noticed even the free CPDs are not attended. So that gives an interesting angle to it. Even the free ones, where we say we are locking out everyone, even the free ones, no one is logging in to attend. So that begs the question that, yes, I agree. I know the other concern is from the comments online and all that. I think there was a lot of talk around, of course, the conferences and the seminars, but that's a different ballgame. That one has a bit of high costs. Then on the networks, yes, there was already a plan in council to establish and pay for regional offices for networks. That is something we are still going through, but unfortunately we're expiring soon. But that is something the next council will look at. Want to create offices for these regional networks, depending on viability, of course. Some of the networks are still very young and at infancy, really. But for those that are developed and have members, of course, we are considering setting up those offices and having a resource there to look after that. I think I'll hand over to Ronald to continue on the other member issues. Senior, let him just finish, then you come back.
Thank you, Timo. I'll first address myself to the regional member networks call about the proposals and concerns that have been raised through your events and workshops and meetings. And this is to confirm that all these issues were received as part of a working paper that was an agenda paper in a member services committee meeting. And the action point is for us to extract proposed actions or responses to deal with the challenges, and make appropriate recommendations to council, which should be the next council. I would just like to emphasize that the regional member networks was a deliberate action or strategy to ensure that we are able to offer services and be reachable to all our members across the geographical space that we have as a country. So it is very important that the regional member networks are given the appropriate support to ensure full participation of all the members. But that must also be balanced with two critical issues. Issue number one is optimal use of member funds. The funding that we operate on are member funds that should therefore be used to generate services, to offer services to the membership, and also ensure continued sustainability of the institute. So some of the calls and requests that have been made by the member networks might not be able to fit into that challenge. But those that will build the member numbers are definitely going to be all are being prioritized. Regarding the cost of the CPDs and workshops, especially those that are being offered by all through the regional member networks, again, that also fits into the strategy of extending services where the members are. So there's a deliberate effort also to ensure that the regional member networks are supported in that cause and making it affordable. And again, to the other members who raised the same issue, the affordability and cry therefore regarding affordability of members. This has been hard over time. And just to emphasize what Timothy has just mentioned, that's why we have got the lower cost technical CPDs. And also we have the free CPDs. But unfortunately, like Timothy has just mentioned, those are not as popular as the flagship events that are held in outside Kampala, yeah, that involve, and those are the ones everyone would like to attend. Yeah. Now, the cost of hosting those events that we have in Entebbe, the annual seminar, the economic forum, and name it, yeah, is also demanding. Not to mention, one of the drivers of brand is price. How do we position it? Already the annual seminar, we are experiencing a spillover. We can't host all the numbers. So if it was even more cheaper than that, then we might have a situation of having to close gates. All those are technicalities to deal with. But we have to borrow a leaf. Our neighbors in East Africa hold bigger events. They are spreading them across venues. There are more lessons to learn on that. Thank you.
Yeah, CPO Alfred, on the issue of grants, at the moment, the institute doesn't receive any other funding from anywhere. So most of our revenue is internally generated. So perhaps in the future, perhaps we shall explore those options. But at the moment, most of other than what we received at the beginning, that we used to buy plot 42. Thank you.
I think that's something that the Institute needs to take up. I know that the CEO has been trying to look for grants and a lot of time goes into it, but most of the time at the last minute, the grant is not given. So I think that kind of demoralized the effort, but I think it's something that needs to be picked up, particularly now that we're going into things like sustainability. There'll probably be some funds that are willing to support. There are 4 questions, and then let's check online if we have anything online. We'll check more in the room.
Yeah, thank you. Chair, thank you very much. I want to add a voice to the question of grants and resource mobilization generally. At the time of consultation about the new strategic plan, I tried to raise this point of resource mobilization and grants generally. But then the response was that this is not an NGO, therefore resource mobilization is the misplaced initiative. But here it comes now. The institute needs partnerships, needs grants. And the way you can do it is not overload the CEO, who is already overburdened with that same responsibility of mobilizing resources. So you ought to have a desk, and therefore a responsible officer take time and dig deep, identify partners, identify appropriate partnerships, follow them up, and again find out what is their interest is. Because the theory about resource mobilization is that people are willing to give, but then it takes one to ask. So you must be in position to ask why you are given those grants. And so the one who asks has got to be there and has got to be accountable and responsible. Not the CEO who is already overstretched. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And in that respect, I know that when we were recruiting the research person, one of their tasks is to look for funding for the research project. So, for funds specific for research. So already we're starting to mainstream that, at least from the side of research.
Yes, Madam Chair. This concern of CPD costs, it has really been on for very many years. And I'm optimistic when I look at the construction of new premises and assets for the institute. I think some of those can be utilized to house many of our seminars, because one of the biggest costs inputs of a seminar usually is higher of venue. And if we have our own, both in Bukoto and as we are looking forward somewhere else, I think we can hold many of our seminars internally instead of going to these very expensive hospitality areas. Also, when you look at the technology that has come up now, we can, you don't have to attend physically. We can use more technology, Zoom and Teams and all other virtual interactions on channels to get members involved, especially the young ones. I know many of people around here, maybe they're working in corporates, their organizations pay for them. But if for a young person who was qualified yesterday, the first 5 years can really be tough, and we want them to be on board. Thank you.
Thank you. Ernest Kato Kalanzi. I think most of my comments are going to the next council. But one, we are talking about new CPAs not enrolling for membership, but can we have a tiered membership kind of structure where at least someone who has just completed can be given like 2 or 3 years paying lesser fees than others that have been there for long? It can be something that can be put into consideration, and you evaluate how good or how bad it can be. But at least I think it will also improve on the uptake of members. Also, we're looking at the numbers of CPA. How can we use these numbers to actually get discounts in the market? Because there are very many products that are in the market, but once you say, I have 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 CPAs, they can get a discount of this much if they come to buy from you. How can we use these numbers to actually make sure that CPAs get something from the market at a lesser cost that can actually also improve on how members actually join the institution, because they know if I enter, there's a product I can acquire because I'm affiliated to CPA. Then also something that came up is with this requirement of accountants preparing financial statements in the market, there is a general issue of quality. Then I come to think of can we have our own sample illustrative financials in Uganda that can help other CPAs in the market to actually refer to while preparing financials? Most of what happens is you go, you have to help these accountants to send them versions of illustrative, but at least if we can have at least at the institute our own, they may not cover everything, but at least if you can have like full IFRS, IFRS for SMEs, then IPSAS, we can have something that can refer to as accountants in practice or in the market. Then also I've looked at I'm a small practitioner, but I'm looking at when you look at our council, five have to be members of the council. However, we think from our discussions we've not been empowered enough to grow as SMPs. Yes, the regulation, the CPA is doing a good job to regulate us, but now the issue comes in: how are we empowering? What are we doing as council? What are we doing to grow these SMPs so that they don't just look at leaving the market, but also growing to become bigger and bigger firms? I think this is very important that the council coming should look into it. Things of IT, things of training, because in a year we only have 2 practitioners forum. But then what needs to be done is if you find a practitioner, sometimes it doesn't have where to refer to in most of these instances. How can we create as council? How can you help these small practitioners to grow so that they can be bigger firms going forward? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I think we need to kind of wrap up on the questions. If there are any other questions, they can be sent to the institute and then we'll be able to respond. But I like your proposals. As you said, we'll pass it on to the next council. Those who stood for council are within the room. I see them. So I hope you have taken note of those proposals that have been put on the table. It would be good to see what action plans can be put in there and which ones can be actualized. In terms of the small medium practitioners, I hope you're aware that that the Accountant Practitioners Forum has been incorporated into a company limited by guarantee. And so therefore, if you have any other issues, that would now be the avenue where you'll be working together and collaborating with the institute so that there is a united force and one point of contact. So that I think that is a good development. Cost of CPDs, yes, I think the cost of CPDs is the message has been heard, but I think also members should appreciate and recognize that our subscription has not changed for the last 8 years. So we have been on the same subscription for the 8 years, and this is in recognition of the cry for the costs. So much as the costs of activities has gone up, we've tried to maintain the annual subscription constant for all this time. The issue of partnerships, yes, I think the partnerships is one of the key focuses areas for the current strategic plan that we are in, and I think that is something that the institute will also pick up on. I beg that we we move on. It's now 4:30. And then, but any questions, please do send them to Secretariat and we'll try and provide responses. We'll consolidate all of them and provide responses and share with the members. Okay. So the next, our next agenda is to now propose that we adopt the reports, and we adopt the report to council, someone to propose and second, and then also to adopt the audited financial statements. So we'll need a proposer and a seconder for these two items. Okay.
Thank you, Chair. CPA Hamilton Mutesas here, FM 3972. I propose that we adopt the report as presented to the council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I saw CPA Jobra's hand up.
Yes, CPA Jobra, 248. I second the motion that we adopt the papers presented.
Thank you. Okay, next, the adoption of the audited financial statements. CPA Joseph.
CPA Joseph Kagwa, FM 458. I propose that we adopt the audited financial statements as presented.
Thank you.
CPA Anes Kato Kalanzi, 2518. I second propose the audited financial statements.
Thank you. So we confirm adoption of the report to council and the audited financial statements as by the respective CPAs. We move on to agenda item number 4, which is to appoint the Institute's auditors for the financial year, for the year 2025. So Provis Mazars has been the Institute's auditor for the last 5 years, and we congratulate them for the tremendous work. And imagine they started out as BRG, grew to Mazars BRG, now they are Provis Mazars BRG. Congratulations. Because they've done 5 years, they're not eligible for reappointment. So we have to appoint another auditor. So we had a number of firms express interest, and therefore I request those who expressed interest to excuse themselves from the room. And for those who are virtual, I would ask that the IT people first put them in the waiting room. So these are Baker Tilly, Hem LLP, Chisaka and Company, Philip and Ernest Partners, RSM Eastern Africa, and Sechito Kaimanda and Company. So if there's anyone in the room from those firms, could you please excuse us while we deliberate? And IT confirm that any online have been put in the waiting room. Okay. So a call to offer audit services to the Institute was sent to all accounting firms whose classification under the 5th cycle of the audit quality reviews was Class 1 and Class 2A. So only 5 firms submitted their bids. The bids were evaluated according to the set criteria, and RSM Eastern Africa emerged the successful bidder. So Council recommends the appointment of RSM Eastern Africa as the Institute's auditor until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting. And also Council requests to be authorized to fix the auditor's remuneration. So any comments and questions on that proposal? Any online? If there are none, can I invite a member to propose that RSM Eastern Africa is appointed as the Institute's auditor until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting, and that for council be authorized to fix their remuneration? Okay, there's an hand. Okay.
Yes, Madam President, I thought I was excluded from participating in the annual general meeting. I propose, I seconded the motion that RSM is appointed and council is authorized to fix their remuneration.
Okay, you're proposing.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So who will second? Oh, sorry, there's another hand online. Constant.
Hello. Stephen Michele is my name.
Can I say something before he?
Just hold on. Hold on, Stephen. Stephen, hold on.
Yes, I was seconding. Thank you.
I will request that he holds on a bit. Madam President, you mentioned the firms which applied and they were assessed and you selected one. I thought it would be good for us to know better who RSM is, and then we complete the formalities. Because I assume that not everyone who is on call understands them, and it's one of the ways of us knowing who is going to be doing the audit for us. 5 minutes wouldn't hurt. Thank you.
Well, I need guidance from the audit committee, but the audit committee chair is not here. And the committee is chaired by the Auditor General. So, chair the hand there. But probably once he has been agreed, probably you can, when he comes back, but I hadn't seen the pattern.
Madam Chair, to allay the anxieties of members, I think it would be advisable perhaps if you just told us the key partners of that firm, and that would suffice, I believe. Thank you.
Charles?
Thank you so much, Chair. The key partner in this particular firm is CPA John Walabieki. Thank you.
And I think you should have comfort given that we looked at only class 1 and class 2A. So at least in terms of quality, you're sure that we're getting someone of good quality. So thank you. So we had CPH Bedi proposing and CPA Stephen seconding the motion. Okay. Is there another hand? But I think we moved on from that item. Yes. Okay, so we move to agenda item number 5. No, we can't defer. There's this bit here. Do we need to do that? No. Okay, move to agenda item number 5 to receive results of the election. Okay, so I changed my hat now to be the returning officer. Yeah? Or maybe I should call, can I introduce the members of the elections committee? CPA Philip Bosco Asega. CPA Dorothy Nseka Chiaga, CPA Geoffrey Nwamanya, CPA Jocelyn Nakasi, and then myself as the chairperson. So the council at its 252nd meeting that was held on 3rd March put in place an elections committee in accordance with the accountant's regulation to conduct the elections. And Regulation 9 of the accountant regulations gives the composition of election committee as a chairperson and 4 other members, all of whom shall be members of the institute and who shall be appointed by council. I think in this regard, we followed tradition where the outgoing president serves as the chairperson of that committee. So the functions of the committee are spelled out in Regulation 10, and therefore the chairperson of the elections committee also serves as the returning officer. So the elections committee approved a number of activities to ensure that members are able to elect their leaders. This included the choice of election mode, election code for the code of conducts, their agents and supporters, validation of the elections platform, and approval of auditing of the elections process or system, among others. So we did a roadmap for the elections, and the roadmap was as follows. 8th May, there was a call for nominations of council members, and this is in line with the Accountants Regulations 13, subsection 1 and 2. We then, the nominations were closed on 21st May, and on 23rd May, the review and approval of the nominations for the elections to council was done in line with Regulations 10, subsection A. 26th May, we had a meeting with the candidates and confirmed the campaigning guidelines. And on Friday, 6th June, there was a session for voter education in line with Regulation 13. And again, on 30th May, there was a candidates rally, so communication to members. On 10th June was the cutoff date for the elections roll as per Regulations 12. And on 12th June, that's when we started electronic voting for the members of council. Closure of the electronic voting was on 23rd June at 2:30 p.m. and the vote counting and verification was done on Tuesday, 24th June. And today is the annual general meeting, 26th June, for the announcement of the elections results. So first, I would like to extend our appreciation as elections committee to the candidates for their cooperation and exhibition of maturity while you are required to interface with the committee and indeed when you are campaigning. However, the committee noted with concern some of the supporters or agents' utterances and conducts was unbecoming of the esteemed profession of accountancy. Some misleading actions like encouraging of members to vote one candidate instead of 7 has contributed to the poor performance in terms of election turnout. Nominations, the elections committee was required to receive and scrutinize and approve the nominations. And during this process, we received 13 nominations and approved 12 to be duly nominated for the elections of member to council. One of the members did not qualify with the requirements of Regulation 14. All the 12 candidates nominated fulfilled Regulation 13, which provides for the nominations procedures as herein. Nomination will be made using a designated form. The form must be signed by the nominee indicating his or her willingness to stand for elections and by a proposer, seconder, and 3 other members. All members referred on the form must be full members of the institutes, have paid the annual subscription fees, and be of good standing with the membership of the institute. So the following were the candidates who were approved for the elections. 1, CPA Nathan Nandala Mafabi, FM 032, as a practicing accountant. CPA Alfred Otete, FM 131, practicing accountant. CPA Alfred Beitwabo, Kabuchu, I know the second one only. FM 223 as practicing. CPA Jobra Mulumba Chisaku, FM 248 as a practicing accountant, CPA Richard Biarugaba, FM 335 as a practicing accountant, CPA David Ediomu, 584 as practicing, CPA Robina Nawire, FM 759, non-practicing, CPA Christine Mugume, FM 931 as practicing accountant, CPA Nancy Amuge Owino, FM 1002, non-practicing, CPA Sandra Nashibule Bate, FM 709, non-practicing, CPA John Sebuma, FM 2178 as practicing accountant, and CPA Annette Nantumbwe, FM 2447 as practicing. So the election process required every voter to log into his or her account to generate and receive a voting token by either email or SMS. The token was the key to access the e-ballots. The entire election process from accessing one's account to generating the token and casting the ballot would take anything between 15 to 30 minutes depending on the speeds of one's connectivity. So a member would log in using their member ID or ICPAU ID and password. Members who had forgotten passwords of their ICP accounts would easily change them, but there was no change of email addresses once the voting had started. A voter was expected to read the guidelines or instructions on the portal for a smooth voting process, and it was compulsory for a voter to confirm that he had understood and read the guidelines. The voting process was executed by a two-stage process, the voting token and a one-time password. So the voting token is what will provide access to the e-ballot, while the one-time password would enable the voter to confirm the ballot and cast his or her vote. The voter has had the option to choose whether to vote, abstain, or abandon the voting. It's also good to note that there was no manual intervention in the election process. The voter logs into his account, generates a token, accesses the ballot, selects a preferred candidate, and casts the ballot with a confirmation of a unique one-time password. So after the voting, there is then the process through which votes are counted and the verification process. So at the start of the vote count and verification exercise, all data is encrypted, and the only information available is how many have generated tokens and how many cast the ballots. Both the token and cast ballots are this time stored in cloud servers in an encrypted mode. The validation process begins with downloading the tokens from the cloud and ballots into the local server while they are still encrypted. Once the records are synchronized between the cloud server and the local server, then the results verification begins by checking and confirming that all the prefigured reports on the system are empty to run the decryption of both the tokens and the ballots. The decryption of tokens and electronic ballots is assigned to an individual of the elections committee, and thereafter the results are run and results are verified. So total number of members on the election roll was 2,480. Members that generated tokens were 1,005, which is about 40.52%. Members that did not generate tokens were 1,475, that's 59.5, about 59.5%. So as you can see, the guys who participated in the voting were only 40% of those on the elections roll. So number of members who actually voted was 913. Number of members that abstained were 2, and the number of members that abandoned after generating tokens were 90. So if you add the 913, the 2, and the 90, you get the 1,005 that generated tokens. We note that the elections roll grew by 21.75% compared with the previous election of 2023, and the voter turnout standing at 40.5% did not improve significantly from the 40.45 in 2023. The percentage of those who abandoned the voting, given that the token had been generated but didn't cast the vote, increased from 5.2% to 8.9%, whereas only 2 individuals abstained. That was the same number as in the previous elections. So each token that votes equals an e-ballot, and each ballot was intended for 7 voters, 7 votes. So if we look at, just doing a quick analysis, if you look at those who cast 7 votes, there were only 661 voters out of 913. Those who cast 6 votes were 45. Those who cast 5 votes were 47. Those who cast 4 votes were 42. Those who cast 3 votes were 28. Those who cast 2 votes were 27. And those who cast 1 vote were 63. And hence our concern for those agents who are emphasizing that you need only vote for your candidate without voting the whole 7. So according to section 8, subsection 1A of the Accountants Act, the council is composed of 7 members elected by full members of good standing, at least 5 of whom shall be practicing accountants. Section 8.2 provides that at least 3 of the members referred in subsection 1 shall be women. So the table below indicates the votes received by each candidate. So CPA, Timothy David Ediomu, FM 584, received 648 votes, which is 11.78%. No, received 648 votes. CPA Alfred Kabuchu, FM 223, received 625 votes. CPA Sandra Nashibule Bate, FM 1709, received 605 votes. CPA Albert Alfred Otete, FM 131, received 601 votes. CPA Christine Mugume, FM 931, received 506. CPA Nancy Amuge Owino, FM 1002, received 447. CPA Annette Nantumwe, FM 2447, received 391. CPA Nandala Mafabi, FM 032, received 378. CPA John Sebuma, FM 2178, received 370 votes. CPA Richard Biarugaba, FM 335, received 363 votes. CPA Robina Nabwire, FM 759, received 309 votes. And CPA Jobra Murumba Kisaku, FM 248, received 258 votes. So following on from the guidance of the requirements of the Act, which says at least 3 members shall be women and 5 and full member, and the council shall have at least 5 members of whom shall be practicing accountants. On behalf of the Elections Committee and on my behalf, I would like to thank all the members who participated in the elections, this year's elections, but particularly those who put themselves up for nomination, because it takes a lot of effort and it shows that they are dedicated to improving our profession. So we need to clap for all those who put themselves out to be elected. And I would like to encourage those who may not have made it through this round that you should not give up, but you should continue and join any other activity of the institute. But there will always be another time when you can make another attempt. So I want to congratulate all those who have been successful and are soon joining the Council of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, and note that the council is to serve everyone and promote the profession for the good of our country. And that's why we always say that our profession works in the public interest. So in accordance to Section 8 of the Accountants Act and Regulation 15 subsection 5 and Regulation 15, subsection 7 of the Accountants Regulation 2024, I hereby announce the following members as duly elected for council for the period 2025 to 2027. CPA Sandra Nashibule Bate, FM 1707 as a non-practicing, 1709 as a non-practicing accountant. CPA Christine Mugume, FM 931 as a practicing accountant. CPA Nancy Amuge Owino, FM 1002 as a non-practicing accountant. CPA Timothy David Ediomu, FM 584 as a practicing accountant. CPA Alfred Kabuchu, FM 223 as a practicing accountant. CPA Albert Otete, FM 131 as a practicing accountant. And CPA Annette Nantumbwe, FM 2447 as a practicing accountant. So that is your lineup. May I request those who are in the room to stand up? And thank you, thank you. May I have your seat? Thank you, please. I know that CPA Nancy Amuge is online, Owino and Sandra, they indicated that they are online, they're attending online. Because I call upon the secretary to confirm if there's any other business that was competently tabled.
Yeah. I confirm that there was no any other business competently tabled to be considered at this 31st annual general meeting.
Simon. Go and speak to him. So we'll take this opportunity to invite CPA Patrick for Kawairenge as a senior member in the room to give a vote of thanks. Could you please give the mic to CPA Patrick?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I am excited, I can tell you. I have taken a bit of time before coming to the AGM. As many of you might know, I retired and I stay in Masindi most of the time these days. But I made effort to attend this time. And I recall when we were struggling to set up this institute. And a lot of work was done around 1992. And that is 33 years ago. And at one time, when we counted the professional accountants, I was one of those few there, and we were just 8 in Uganda, professionally qualified. Now we are talking of 4,500. Clap for yourselves. And let us look at those numbers in the bigger picture of organizing this country, the economy of this country, giving strategic guidance, especially in the matters of finance. You have a big job to do, and now we are more prepared to do that job. Those who are still training us, somebody said the ideal number perhaps for our Uganda economy could be about 10,000 accountants. So we still have room because there is still a lot of disorderliness out there. And I want to thank you all who offered yourselves to be accountants. As you know, it is not a very easy course. It takes a lot of burning of candles. You gave your time and you qualified. Congratulations. I want to thank our leadership, which has steered us over the so many years, but now represented by the current council. The current council led by Josephine. Thank you for the wonderful job you have done. Thank you for holding our flag. As I mentioned somewhere there, 2 years might be rather short, because I can see now Mr. Vice President here, because of just 2 years, we are going to miss his input, his contribution. A typical board, usually, given leadership of our nature of our institute, takes about 3 years for you to bring ideas, follow up things, and see them work out. 2 years might be rather short. So as we look at the law, I think this could be an area so that people give good logical contribution. We are going to miss you, those who are leaving after 2 years. But we want to thank you for your great input. Those of you who have attended this annual general meeting, and those who are online, physically and online, I say thank you so much for sparing your time. You are very busy people, I know, but coming here shows the commitment to your profession. Please keep on, don't tire, and if I give you, as we grow older, we become more spiritual. These days, I read my Bible a little more than I used to do. So, I would like to leave you with one of us. One of us in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. Chapter 6, verse 9. In summary, it says, when you are doing a good thing, continue with it. Don't tire. Don't wait for people to pay you on earth, because there is somebody up there who will ultimately pay you. So accountants, keep doing a good job, and you are being felt in this country. Continue. Have integrity. Very important. Having your knowledge is good, but having the name to be trusted. We are trusted advisors to our institutions where we work. Please have integrity, and the rest will be history. The prosperity of this country must have input of accountants. I want to congratulate those who have given their names, volunteered. You know, there is no pay. These people have been working for us. Wonderful people, God's people. No salary, no. So those who have volunteered to come in the 7, we want to encourage them to do equally a good job, to follow the footsteps of those who have been there, and not to tire, continue contributing to the development of this country. We shall give them all our full support. We shall protect them. We shall protect their names as they protect our names. And let us have the big picture of what is required of us. People still talk of certain countries, and they are now 44. 44 countries called the least developed countries. Have you heard of them? The United Nations set up a group to help and advise in 1971. Now that must have been 54 years ago. In 1971, a group called the least developed countries. And somehow we were there. Countries have been progressing and they call it graduating, leaving that group. They got the middle income. Now with us somehow, we are still in that group of least developed countries in the world. And you know, there are about 200 countries, and we are among the lowest regarded 44 countries. So please, part of the task we have as accountants, as the elite, as people have had a little bit more than many people in our rural areas, our uncles and aunties, is to see how we can move this country from that group to something better. And I think it is possible. We can do it in our lifetime. So accountants, apart from punching your calculator and writing debit and credit and all of that stuff, receipts and payments, there is a bigger picture. There is a bigger cause to lift our societies, our countries from some level to a higher level. I was asked to give a vote of thanks. I must stop there. Thank you, and let us meet forward. Let us meet as we go on day to day, but let us meet at the next annual general meeting. Please come. And those who have not come, they have certainly missed, but encourage them, tell them we were doing a good thing. It was a good thing. We did good business. We are bringing a sense of order. And I want to thank Madam Chair. I want to thank our CEO for a wonderful job to carry out this function. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, CPA Patrick. And with that, this concludes the formal business of the 31st Annual General Meeting. And I thank you all for your attendance. And I would like to invite all of you for a cup of evening tea with drinks and bites. Thank you. Election committee members, if you could just come here briefly.